At Premier Formulas, we provide only the highest quality prescription-grade vitamins and supplements.
Hi, this is yoga for stress relief. My name is Jessica. I am a certified yoga instructor, group fitness instructor, and lover of yoga. So I'm here to share my passion for yoga with you. So I use yoga in my daily life for many things, and one of the things that I use it for is to help me cope with the daily stresses of life. So we all have stresses that come with living. We have financial stresses, we have health stresses, family problems, problems at work, problems with kids. Whatever those problems might be, they are always going to be present in our lives. So it is us learning how to kind of ride the ebbs and the flows of these issues and these challenges to kind of cope with the stress. So it's always going to be there, and yoga has taught me how to be present with it and how to accept that feeling of discomfort when you're going through a particularly trying time, and just sitting back and being aware of this pressure and the stress that comes along with whatever it is you're going through. So although it will always be present, we can learn how to react better to it for our better health and our better wellness. So we are going to focus on two major areas of the body today that carry the most stress. Those are this whole shoulder girdle area and the whole hip/pelvic girdle area. So many people carry their stress in their neck, their shoulders, and their chest, which is also their upper back. So just the front and the back of this whole heart center area. The other place a lot of people carry stress is in the low back, but it is also felt in the hips, in the pelvic region. So we are going to focus on opening up, stretching out these two areas today. So you will need two things. You will need a strap, a belt or a tie, and a bolster or just a firm pillow, something just to help you get into some of our relaxing poses with a little more ease. So let's begin, and we are going to do a breath work to kind of ease us into this space where we can begin to let go of some of the nervous tension or the stress that is being held in our body. So this is my take on alternate nostril breathing. Very simple. We're going to start by just taking a couple of cleansing breaths or clearing breaths. So take a big breath in through your nose and let it out with a sigh. And give sound to that sigh. Let's do that one more time. Very nice. So you're going to make just a gentle, what looks like a mitten with your hand. So we're going to close off one nostril with our thumb and breathe out that nose, that side of the nose, and in that side of the nose, and then we're going to close off that nostril with our opposite side, our mitten hand, and breathe in and out through the other nostril. So this breath work will help syncopate both the brain waves and the heart waves. So if you looked at your brain waves and your heart waves in an echocardiogram or in an EEG, how they measure these waves, you would see they're kind of close and together and sharp and just bouncy, and especially when you're in periods of stress. So as you begin to do this alternate nostril breathing or other types of breath work, your breath begins to slow and even out and become more of a nice sloping wave as opposed to these little jagged beats up and down. So this puts the body in a natural state of relaxation and helps you to be able to deal with the stress in both a physical and a mental state of well-being. So let's make our mitten. You can keep your eyes gently open or closed. I'm going to close mine. So I'm going to start by closing off my left, I'm going to use my left hand, and I'm going to start by closing off my left nostril with my thumb and taking a big breath in through my right nostril. Close off your right nostril with your hand and blow it out through your left nostril. Now take a breath in through the left nostril. Close it off with your thumb. Out through the right. In through the right. Switch. Out through the left. In through the left. Close, switch, out through the right. In through the right. Switch, out through the left. In through the left. Close, out through the right. In through the right. Close, out through the left. In through the left. Close, out through the right. In through the right. Close, out through the left. And release your hand. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. And see if you can shift your breathing here to the Ujjayi breath, in through nose, out through nose. Letting the eyes begin to float open. So let us take our chin down to our chest and just hang your head there for a moment. Let your head hang down. And then inhale, take your gaze up to the sky. And let's let your ear fall over to your shoulder. So right ear, maybe to right shoulder. Take your gaze back to the center. Left ear over to left shoulder. And let's do that one more time, that down-up pattern. So take your chin down to your chest. Breathing. Take your gaze up to the sky. Center. Right ear to right shoulder. Center. And left ear to left shoulder. Very nice. Take your gaze back to center. So from here, let's take that bolster or pillow under our sit bones. So bring that right underneath your bottom. Bring your legs out in front of you and comfortably cross them so the legs just kind of spill down out of the pelvic girdle. So we're going to take our strap and open the arms up on the strap nice and wide. So when you bring your arms over your head, you have a wide V formation here. Take a look at your wrists and make sure you don't have broken wrists so they're not coming forward or going backwards or in or out, but you have a nice long line of energy all the way from the wrist to the elbow to the shoulder. So we're just going to start by kind of tick-tocking the arms. So it goes into a right angle, nice right angle there, arms to the left and the right, beginning to open the shoulders and just kind of find some mobility and some movement in the upper neck and upper thoracic or upper back area, right in between those shoulder blades, where it can get so tight sometimes. So oftentimes when we are feeling stress, we can really carry it in our shoulders, which can cause a rounding forward of the shoulders. And that creates so much tension in that heart center. So we are going to open up that whole heart center, try and transfer some of the energy out of the rounded spine. Find an openness and a freeness, a lightness. Very nice. So keep that grip nice and wide and then begin to drop the strap behind your back. So you're opening, you should feel a nice little, maybe very gentle stretch in the front portion of your chest and through your shoulders. Very good. And then release the strap, bring it back around. So let's do that a couple more times. This time see if you can narrow your grip on the strap, even if it's just a ½ inch on each side. So take those arms up, nice long lines of energy in the arms. Begin to drop the strap behind you, but keep a gentle bend in the elbows as you bring the strap back behind you. So you should feel a little bit of a deeper stretch now that you've brought your hands closer together on the strap. That's what we're going for. If at any point it feels like too much, slide your hands back out. And if your shoulders feel any tension at any point, just bring the strap forward instead of continuing with that backward motion. Okay, so one more time. Closest grip on the strap that you feel comfortable with. Inhale, exhale. Slowly bring that strap down. You should be feeling the biggest stretch here now that you've felt so far. Breathe. Release. Very nice. So let's take that strap and just set it aside for the time being and feel kind of a lightness and a freeness in your chest. Open your arms, take your gaze up. Very good. Let your arms come down behind you and push into your palms and gaze skyward. So you open up this whole front area, chest, neck, shoulders roll down and back. Feel those shoulder blades come together. Very good. Excellent. And then let the hands come out back on those knees. And we're going to slide off of the bolster and switch the cross of the legs. So if you have that left leg in cross in front, bring the right leg in front. So we get just a nice even stretch through both hips. So let's take those arms down by the side and just kind of begin to find some movement in the neck, some rotation from side to side, some lengthening. Very good. And take the hands to the neck and just rub them down the neck to the trapezius muscles. These muscles right here that sometimes feel so hard, so knotted up, and just bring it down. My hands are a little cold, so I'm going to warm them up, rub them together, bring some heat into them. Bring those palms behind the neck, rub down, bring them down to the tops of the shoulders, and flick it away. Get rid of it. Whatever it is, tension in your neck, pain in your neck. maybe a boss who's being a pain in the neck, or a friend, or a loved one. Get rid of it. Let it go. Excellent. Good job. So let's do a little side stretching to open up that side body. Take one arm up and over, just a gentle inhale and exhale over to the side. So you'll notice the body feeling tight in the joints when you get stressed out. So what we're going to do is bring a lot of circular movement into the joints to help kind of relieve that tightness, to get your energy flowing, your chi or your prana. If you're of a Chinese or Eastern medical background, the Chinese know it as qi. If you're more of an Indian Ayurveda background, they know it as prana. It is that life force in your body that moves you, that magical force that keeps you alive. So when we get stressed and these major joints get tight, that chi, that prana, does not flow as well as it should be or could be. So we are going to help it along. Very good. All right, so now we're going to take those arms in front of us. Take those feet right in front of you, Baddha Konasana. Hands come right in front of the ankles, and we are going to pretend like our body is a big stirring spoon and we are mixing a batter, a cookie batter, something nice and thick that you really have to work through. So you're going to come over to the side, and as you come forward, lead with your chin and your chest, and then come over to the other side. And as you come back on your sit bones around the spine, curl in, make a nice big C curve with your body. Over to the other side and forward. And make these movements very pronounced. So if you think it looks silly, you're probably doing it right on, because you really want to get in there. Work deep into those areas where the fascia, the connective tissue of your body, becomes tense. So we've talked about it on an energetic level, and now from an actual physiological standpoint, when you are stressed, that tension in your body makes the fascia, the connective tissue, the stuff that holds your body together, tight. So we want to loosen it up, essentially. And let's reverse, opposite direction. Stir that batter. I am hearing all sorts of little creaks and creaks in my joints and my bones. That is good. Let's release it. Let it go. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Very nice. And come back to center and inhale up. Beautiful. Good job, guys. So let's come to all fours on our mat. We're going to find a pretty big chest opener here. We've kind of helped our chest along, so we're going to take a nice big chest opener by walking our arms all the way forward. Begin to bring your chest down. See if you can bring your chin down to the mat. Might not quite reach, and if it doesn't, that's fine. Bring your forehead down, but this is not child's pose. We have knees and hips stacked one over the other. We have booties up in the air. We have arms really far forward. We're keeping this bottom half lifted instead of resting it back on our heels. It's staying up. And if you can, bring the chin down to the mat. And if that's too much, bring the forehead down to the mat. And if your forehead doesn't quite reach, bring a prop there, a bolster, a block, something that can help prop you up. So that would be your modification if you need it. And breathe. With each inhale, imagining your back lengthening, and with each exhale, imagine your heart sinking down toward the earth. So you feel yourself just kind of releasing through that upper body, that thoracic spine. And inhale, slide it up. Find yourself in all fours. And let's cat-cow it. So chin to chest. Nice arch in the back. And then release it. Gaze up, belly drops. One more. Round it in. And let it go. So we're going to take one more of those circular patterns that we are going to be working on, and we're going to drop the hips back toward the heel. Round it around. Come forward. Pretend like you're drawing a big circle on the middle of your mat with your body. And you want to make that circle as big as you possibly can. And reverse directions. Very nice. Excellent. So let's bring it back to the center, and we are going to come into our first downward facing dog. So walk those hands forward just a bit, tuck those toes, lift your hips. Oh my goodness, that feels so good. I did not realize my legs were this tight. So if you're feeling the same thing, walk your dog. Bend one knee, opposite heel to the ground. Bring movement and life into your practice. It does not have to be stiff and rigid. You do not have to work on finding the perfection in the pose. Especially when we're doing yoga for something like stress relief. Let it be light. Very nice. All right, let's take that gaze forward and just begin to kind of walk those feet forward. Keep them a little bit wider than you normally would for a forward fold. So let's take them maybe to the width of the mat. And just a nice little bend in the knees, let the booty kind of stick back, drop the head. Very nice. And then let's roll it up. Okay, so we're gonna do another circular movement. And we're gonna keep those feet nice and wide. I'm just gonna face you so you guys can see this. We're gonna take those hands to the hips. We're gonna keep a gentle bend in the knee. We're going to reach the hip out to the side, reach the booty back behind you. I mean, as far as you possibly can. Other hip out, and then jut the pelvis forward. So once again, that circular movement, like your body's a stirring spoon and you're mixing a bowl of something. So I like to do this with my pregnant mamas because it brings so much mobility and just openness to the whole hips and pelvic girdle. But you know, this is just really a fantastic movement for anybody to do because we all tend to get really tight in the hips from our daily lives, from sitting a lot, driving, working, school. So opening those hips and creating that fluid movement, good stuff. Reverse, and you don't have to keep your hands on your hips, you can let your hands kind of go. You can let the body kind of move however you want. You can bring the shoulders into it. It almost looks like you are hula hooping. Very good, and then come on up. Beautiful. And then let's take those arms and we're gonna swing them. So just begin to swing your arms from side to side. Twist your spine all the way from the very, very bottom, the tailbone, up to the neck. As much movement as you can, and let it go. Let your arms be heavy. Maybe they even kind of hit you as you did you hear that? That's a good one. And why don't you let some breath come into this, some like letting go breath. So, let it go. It might sound corny, it might sound silly, but there is so much release, so much freedom that comes into your body, your life, your practice, when you can learn to do little things like this. Very good. So let's go ahead and take that back to the center. I'm gonna knock step down here. Shake out those wrists, and let's come up to the front of our mat, and we're gonna do a little flow sequence to kind of tie all this together. So find yourself at the front of your mat, feet hip distance apart. Inhale, arms up. Take a little back bend here, nothing too deep, and exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Beautiful. Little bend in the knees, gaze up, and exhale, take it a little deeper. Inhale up. One more time, a little deeper if you can, a little more of that bend is taken out of the knees as you draw your body into the legs. Very good. And then let's bend those knees, plant the hands, and step the feet back so you're in a plank. If this is a little too much, bring those knees down, come into a half plank, just as beneficial here. So let's begin to slowly drop the hips down and find ourselves in a cobra. If you have a cranky lower back, bring yourself down to your forearms for a sphinx. Very good. Gaze forward, gaze up. Excellent. And then press it back, child's pose. Deep breathing. Ujjayi breath, in through nose, out through nose. And inhale, rise up, lift up. And we're going to take our right knee, our right hand, and our left foot all in one line with each other. And just inhale, left arm to the sky. So this is the beginning modification for this pose. It is a preparation for side plank. So you can stay right here if you want, or you can begin to draw that right foot under the left and stack. You can also take the left foot, which let's all do together, or excuse me, yeah, let's all do this together. Let's take that left foot behind the right knee and come up high, 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 high on those left toes. Press into that right arm, drop that arm over the head. Maybe open the heart to the sky, reach behind you. Let the head kind of fall wherever it is most comfortable so there is no tension on your neck. Very good, and then let's take it back down to our plank. So if you are on the knees, go ahead and drop the hips, keep the gaze forward or up, and press back, child's pose. Ujjayi breath, in through nose, out through nose, and inhale, lift. And now let's do that on the other side. So we are going to now take that left hand, left knee, right foot, all in a nice line with one another. Right arm lifts up to the sky. Now you can stay right here if you want. You can stack those feet for a side plank, or if you want to go into the full expression of the pose that we just did, go ahead and take right foot behind the left knee. Arm drops overhead, heart opens, gaze to the sky. Or if that's too much on the neck, you can keep the gaze down or forward. But really open that heart center, find that stretch through the chest. Beautiful. And then let's take it back. Plank, knees drop, hips drop, gaze up, and child's pose. And let's inhale, rise up. Very good. We're going to come back to the center of our mat, and we're going to just do a little hip opener here. So you're going to take your legs just over to one side. It kind of looks like a mermaid tail, if you will, and bring the legs over to the one side, let's say the left. Right hand comes just to the outside behind your right hip, and then lift up, press up, find yourself reaching back and over. Very good. And then extend that leg, that left leg. Press, press, press through the hips. Very good. So you are getting a really deep opening through the hips. You're getting a really good side stretch. You are opening up those intercostal muscles in between the rib cage, allowing your lungs to find greater expansion on the inhale, therefore leading to those deeper, fuller breaths. And exhale, release. So we'll bring that left leg in and bring those legs over to the right side. So find those mermaid legs once again, and let's take the left hand just behind and to the side of the left hip. So we'll press into those left palms. Bring the right leg forward. Bring the right arm up and over. Find that stretch, find that length. Press your hips forward towards me. Press them, open them, awaken them. One more breath. Beautiful, and release. Excellent. So let us take a couple of postures here that are restorative in nature. So they kind of tie all of this together. We're going to take our bolster and bring it right in between our legs. So take those legs as wide as you comfortably can. For me, this is comfortable. For some people, going a little wider is comfortable. If your hips are a little tighter, bring the legs a little closer together. But let's bring that bolster right, tuck it right into the pelvis there. So we're going to find ourselves sitting up nice and tall, and then walking down over the bolster, allowing your forehead to rest on the bolster. So here, if the forehead does not reach your prop, build your props up to you. Grab another pillow, stack them up, whatever you need to do so you can completely come into this pose and be propped up for a restorative aspect. We're going to do 5 breaths here. So concentrate on the inhale. Notice how the inhale makes you feel as you draw breath into your lungs. Feel your back body rise. You guys stay in the pose. I'm just going to lift up so I can talk to you without my voice being muffled. So as you inhale, feel the backs of the lungs, the back body, the rib cage expand and lift toward the sky. And as you exhale, feel everything just kind of wrap around that support. Notice the texture of the breath as you inhale. Notice how it feels as you release it. Notice if there is anywhere in the body that needs some extra love and attention, and imagine that you're sending that breath there. And on your next inhale, slowly begin to walk up. Excellent. So we are going to keep this bolster or whatever prop you have and just take it down toward the bottom of the mat. We are going to use it as a support for our knees. So bring it right under the knees. Allow your knees to be at the very ends of the bolsters. So your feet open up, your hips kind of naturally open up. And then go ahead and lay down all the way on your back. Reach your arms up to the sky and then open them out to the side so you have this openness of the chest. Now you guys are going to stay here. I'm going to sit up so you can hear my voice a little easier, but for you at home, close your eyes. Let's take a couple more of those cleansing breaths as you breathe in through your nose, let it out through the mouth with a gentle sigh. Feeling the entire body as it is supported by your props, as it is supported by the earth. Feeling the back of the head relax. All your facial muscles soften. Gentle smile on the face. The muscles of the neck and the chest. Release into the support of the earth. Shoulders and back. Left arm and right arm all become a little more relaxed. The back and your hips, your glutes soften. Your left leg and your right leg release into the support of the bolster or the pillow. With your next breath, begin to find some very gentle movement, wiggling fingers and toes. Rotating wrists and ankles. Gently moving head from side to side. And then as you're ready, slowly begin to turn over to your favorite side. Press your way up to a seated position. So I want to thank you for practicing yoga for stress relief with me today. Again, this will not take away the stress 100% out of your life, but it will give you the tools that it has given me to help deal with the constant ups and downs of life and help you react with a little more grace and just a little more release. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys practicing with me today. If you liked this content, please tell us. We love to hear your feedback. If there is something that you would really like to see as well, let us know so we can add it on here for you. As always, the light within me honors the light within you. Namaste.